Morning. I hope everyone is well as we are now into reopening after the lockdown, reopening retail. Hospitality is still some way off, sadly, and there's a huge amount of uncertainty in that sector. So we are doing our best to support our clients in that area at the moment. But in terms of today, I wanted to talk about it's not about the price, it's the cost, stupid. So coining an old phrase, changing it around a bit, but it's so true. It's not about the price. It's not what you actually pay as the unit price for something. Sure, that's an element, but it's about the cost. What is the cost to you of that business, that piece of business, dealing with that supplier? So for us, there's a lot to do on alignment right at the outset, telling everyone what's expected, what do you want, in terms of monthly invoicing, for example, consolidated monthly invoicing, payment terms, end of month, not net, deliveries, how do they come? What's the process for returns? What's the process for recording disputes? If they're, for example, on electricity, submitting meter reads as opposed to having estimated bills, getting automated meter readers installed. Will they do it? All of these sorts of things add cost to your business and they add cost to the unit price. So while it's really attractive, you look up and say, oh, wow, I'm going to save £10,000 by doing this. When it actually comes down to it, you don't. And it costs you 15 grand to deal with it. So actually it's cost you 5 grand more than it was. It might be a 10 grand saving at the P&L level for that specific item, but overall in your P&L there is no saving. There's an actual extra cost because it's gone on salaries or inefficient processes in terms of the time taken to process things, and it's just a waste of time. So we need to get that alignment right up front, and people ignore the salary cost of things. I've got a situation this week, in fact, where we were working for a client. We were asked to help them on an issue, and the client was asked directly by a supplier for a question. They didn't fully understand what was meant by that question or the implications of it, and this client, it's complicated because obviously they're working, well, not obviously, but they are working in a lockdown environment at the moment. So people are remote. They're not talking to each other. So one guy made a decision which had a huge impact on the rest of the business. He didn't realize that. He thought he was achieving what he was setting out to achieve. And it's all of these costs. So the cost for unraveling that falls back on our client. And whether there were savings in terms of doing the initial piece of work, that's all been undone by one person doing something which they did with the best intentions in the world, but did not realize what the extra cost to their business would be. So it's really important that you attach a value to people's time in resolving issues, because there is a cost. In very simple terms, if you're paying someone £60 an hour, then that's costing you £1 a minute. Yeah. It's dead simple. That's it. That's expensive. Now you're probably paying people 10, 12, £15 an hour, maybe £20 an hour. So the numbers are different, but there's a value to it. There's a value to people's time. And just because it goes on the salary line, and you say, we got them anyway, it's good that we're utilising them. It's a cost to your business, and it's important that you factor that in. So the things which come into that, which take people's time up, we've broken them down into 3 different areas: product quality, service quality, and payment terms. So in terms of our fair market value approach, there are 4 things we look after. We look after price, we look after product quality, service quality, and payment terms. Now, the last 3, product quality, service quality, and payment terms, all drive cost in your business. So we can use them to drive cost out of your business, and that's not something we take a share in. It's all about being efficient. Or you can be inefficient in those areas and add huge cost to your business in terms of actually processing the business, the transactions for that product area. So in terms of product quality, it's all about matching the specs. Any idiot can come along and tell you they'll give you these pens cheaper. Yeah, fine, great, happy days. They're going to be cheaper. But if they don't, if it's not the same pen, if it's not the exact same item, it's pointless, because it might only last half the time. So of course it's going to be cheaper. It hasn't got the same amount of ink in it. They might be badly made so that the ink doesn't flow down. And you look at it after 3 months, and there's blotches of ink in the pipeline, but you can't actually get the thing to write. So annoying, but that's a cost to you, because you paid for those pens and you thought you were saving money, and you're not, because you're not getting anywhere near the longevity of use that you would have done on the product that you used to have. So that's one element, product quality. If we look at something like broadband for product quality, it's all about what the contention ratios are. A lot of people route their traffic over the BT OpenReach network. So it's a case of understanding, okay, so how many contemporaneous connections are there that you're paying for? Because dependent on the price you pay, there are different levels of service that you'll get, and there would be more squashing of your service, if you like, than not. And it's important that you understand the detail of these things when you're making the decisions, because there's nothing worse than sitting in an office watching the dial go round while you're waiting for something to happen, or sitting at home, as we are at the moment, waiting for something to happen because you've got bad broadband. So product quality and matching those specs is really, really important. Service quality. So if it's product, how are they delivering to you? Are they using couriers? Are they using their own transport? Can they give you PODs quickly? Yes or no? Can you get them online so you do it yourself? Or do you have to ring some customer service department and hang on for half an hour waiting for an answer? Or they call you back and then they don't call you back and you chase them and all of this sort of stuff. Because someone in your organization is doing that work, and that person is paid money. And if they're doing that work, I can guarantee you it ain't in their job spec. It is not going to be in their job spec to do this, and it's costing you money, and that is a waste, and it's a cost. So forget the price becomes irrelevant. It's the cost to you of dealing with this. So you've got delivery issues, you've got invoicing issues. So maybe they're charging you the wrong price. Maybe they quoted you 20% lower, but actually they're charging a higher price, or they put through a price increase and didn't tell you, and you're either not checking the invoices, in which case it's a direct cost to your business because the price has gone up, or they did tell you there was a price increase and you have to spend time discussing it, arguing it with them. Whereas if you got aligned up front and said to them, okay, we want fixed pricing for 6 months or 12 months or whatever, and we'll only sign a contract for the period of the fixed pricing, happy days, everyone's aligned. We know where we are. And it's a simple mechanical process then. Is the price what it said it should be? Yes or no? And if it's not, we just reject the invoice. But if it's not, that's adding a cost to your business. And there will be someone in your purchase ledger department who's responsible for checking purchase invoices. I get that. But if you've got a few suppliers who you are constantly having invoice problems with, it's a complete pain in the backside. Utilities. What about if they're doing estimated bills all the time? Wouldn't it be great if you could have automatic meter readers in? Would that save you money? Of course it would, because you'd get accurate billing every month. And it would also protect your cash flow, because you'd know exactly that what you were paying was the right amount. So there's all sorts of issues to do with service quality, which are really important to get nailed up front and to get aligned on up front. Consolidated invoicing is another one. The number of clients we deal with where they've got individual invoices coming in from the same supplier during the course of a month, rather than having one invoice at the end of the month with a schedule attached to it showing a breakdown of the cost centers with your cost center codes on it. We tell them this, so you get it aligned up front. And they send the invoice through, you get this consolidated invoice coming through, and with the consolidated invoice, you just have one sheet to post a month. You get your VAT invoice, that's fine, that goes onto your purchase ledger. you get your analysis of the cost by cost center, and that goes into your nominal, so you can break it down per cost center. So those are a few things in terms of service quality that you can take care of. But if you're finding that you've got suppliers who constantly you're having to speak to, meet, deal with, whatever, that there's something wrong. You're not aligned with them. Get that alignment right up front. And then the final one's payment terms. And on payment terms, it is real simple. Do not go net. Go end of month. Period. Yeah. Why would you want to have to make or be expected to make, you might not do it, but you're expected to by the supplier, make multiple payments a month when just by asking the question, you can pay end of month? Just go end of month. That's it. Period. And if you get a consolidated invoice, that's great, because what you're able to do, you get one invoice at the end of each month. Now, if let's say you're on 60-day payment terms from the end of the month, if it's goods, then what that would mean is if you buy goods at the beginning of the month, then you're actually going to you can stretch it. It's effectively 90 days from the time that you have the goods. So that's good for your cash flow, and that is another cost to your business. Also, the actual payments, if you're only having to do one payment per supplier per month, that is a huge benefit. Interestingly on this, we don't subscribe to the view that you should give suppliers direct debits. There are some suppliers, particularly utility ones, where you don't have any choice. And there are other suppliers who will charge you extra. It's a cost to their business if you don't pay by direct debit. But where you don't have to, we wouldn't suggest it, because it gives you control over the actual cash. So I hope that all is clear and gives you an indication that actually it's not about the price, it's the cost. What's the cost to you? And don't just think it's no cost. Oh, well, I was paying the salary anyway, so it's fine. Because there's a cost to you. What could that person be doing that's more helpful to your business? Something maybe to drive gross margin, or to analyze what the profitability of certain lines is, or certain sites, or whatever. There's lots of things that people could be doing which are far more beneficial to you than speaking to suppliers about short deliveries and pricing errors and invoicing discrepancies on quantity and all sorts of stuff. So I hope this has been helpful. Get aligned and don't focus just on the price. That is important, don't get me wrong, but it's not the be all and end all. It's what's the overall cost to you of dealing with these suppliers, and get rid of the dross. Get rid of the ones who are costing you money, who are a pain in the arse. Just get rid of them. It's just not worth the hassle. I hope that's good. Have a great week, and I'll be back next week with some more nuggets for you, hopefully. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye.